Okay, it's literally that simple, right? Another thing here, in alternative, you could choose to say we are declaring a variable called x of type int and it is storing 5. We are declaring a variable y of type int and it is storing 6. And we just say console.write x plus y into output 11 direct, right? So, it depends with your preferences. All right. This is very, very important. All C# variables must be identified with unique names. Right. By this, I'm trying to say, if you look at this example here, the first one, it's saying int minutes per hour, we are assigning 60. Then the second one is saying int m, we are assigning 60 to be stored in variable m. You see, this one is more understandable. We've got int minutes per hour. We know we are assigning there are 60 minutes per hour. So minutes per hour, the actual name of the variable, it really speaks something to the purpose of the variable. Okay? This variable called minutes per hour is storing 60. Unlike if you just say int m, we are assigning 60 to m. What is m? It really doesn't make sense. Your code will be very difficult to understand. So below are some general rules for naming variables. So a variable must contain letters, digits, and underscore characters. Okay? It must begin with a letter, and the name should start with a lowercase, and it cannot contain white space. By white space, we are talking of my space. For instance, variable against minutes per hour, it can't be like this. There are two white spaces here, minutes, this white space, and this white space. So we don't want that. And I should have a bit of space when I say underscore. You see that? Like that there. That's what we call underscore. So it's rather better to put an underscore, this one. Then put an underscore. Right? So you should start with a lowercase letter and it cannot contain a white space. Right? So you can choose to put an underscore rather. Right? Names are case sensitive. My var and my var. Can you see the difference between these two? They mean different things. So remember, we said C# is case sensitive. It is case sensitive. Right? So you must always remember that. And there are some reserved keywords, right? Such as double. Right? That. Can you mute your mic and your video?
The president was president this time because those provinces are still rotating.
Right. Guys, I can't be doing this to mute people, okay? Please. More Chafa. More Chafa, please. Your audio. Switch off your audio. Thank you. Okay, so, a name should start with the letter, like here, minutes, it's lowercase. Then the moment you try to join to another word, which is pay, it begins with an uppercase like that. That's the conventional. Then hour, it begins with an uppercase letter. So that's how you must declare. It's a good programming practice. When there was one about America, England, Ganakupi, that's what good programmers do. That's what you discover. Operating system, that's how they do, that's how they declare. So you are supposed to follow these general rules for naming variables. So these data types, remember I said Dakawanda, you should just go and research about them, the size, the description. You should just understand when a int, when a long, when a float, double. Understand the distinction between a float and a double. Okay? They look similar. But you must understand what the difference is. When a character, when a string, all those, they are just data types that we can use to create my variables. So you should just appreciate this jargon. Should just appreciate. Right, look at something. We are declaring a variable called my num of type float. And you see, it actually ends with 5.75F standing for float. So the moment you see this, you know it's a float. Right? This one, we are assigning 19.99D standing for double. So we are assigning the value 99.99 to a variable called my num, which stores double. Okay? So it's maybe let me explain this one called Boolean. When we talk of a Boolean, right, it's a data type which can only take two values, either true or false. So you gentlemen, as you will be studying this course, either you pass or fail. I'm sure you appreciate that statement. It's either true or false. Yes, it's either you pass or you will fail. That's where you can put this thing that we call a Boolean. A bulb, Mumba, light. It's either it's on or it's off. It's either it's on or it's off. Right? It's either true or false. Right? So for such scenarios, that's where you put this data type, which is called Boolean. Right? You see here where we've got a variable called C# is fun. And of type Boolean, true. So when we say console.writeLine, it will output true. Here we're having a variable called if is fish tasty of type Boolean, and the value there is false. So it will output here false. So that's precisely what we call a Boolean variable. I hope that makes sense. Right? This is a type of, a character. It's data type called character. A character is either A or B or Z or whatever. It's a character. So when you say my grade here, it will output B. When we talk of strings, we are talking of words, right? Like my name, Mutero, it's a string. Your name, Clemens, right? Obey. All those, they are strings. So when you say console.writeLine greeting, what's greeting? It's a variable here, this variable. And what is it storing? It's storing a string called hello world. It will output hello world. So I tried to make these notes so easy to follow so that you can really appreciate what is going on. You can actually follow through, and there are quite a number of examples there, right? You paste the code, try and see what's happening, formulate your own question in your own head around the concept you are learning, right? And try and see how you can actually, apply it. Okay, fine. There's this thing that we call typecasting. Typecasting, right? Which was one of the features, if you remember, right, of C#. Right? Typecasting is when you assign a value of one data type to another data type. By typecasting, type mix my data types. Okay? So when I mix, for example, int ne double, and it can double ne float. Right? That's what we call typecasting. Okay? Because zvinogona kuitika at runtime kuti iwe wakadeclare kuti munhu anofanirwa kuenter an integer. Remember, an integer is a straight number, like 1 0 1 2 3 4 5. What if munhu akakuentera 5.5? Will it still be an integer? It's no longer an integer. Wakakuentera 6.116. Haisi integer. Handitika inenge yatova kufloat kana kudouble. So, our programs must be able to deal with such scenarios, maybe as they happen at runtime. So this is what we call typecasting. Kungoti one variable convert with one data type convert with to another data type. So we've got two types of casting. There's what we call implicit and explicit casting. Right? When we talk of implicit casting, this happens automatically. You can actually see. Whereas explicit, it does not happen automatically, right? But it actually happens manually. You have to code it. But this one, it just happens automatically, whether you have explicitly